Today we have guests Sarah and Duane Preble.
Hi. I was raised by people with a love of nature and the woods and the environment. And as a Hawaii resident for 45 years, I've always been aware that things had to come either by ship or by plane, which took a lot of energy. We lived up in the mountains, and energy was an issue up there for a while. And have always had a great respect for the natural world and concern for things, various species that are going extinct, and an awareness of the fact that some resources are renewable and some are not.
I think both of us have grown up with a lot of contact with country living as well as some urban living. My growing up years were full of moving around a lot in terms of the mainland United States. But in every case, my parents were really interested in taking trips into wilderness areas, so-called forests, lakes, lots of hiking, a lot of camping, and I think those things were the basis for my concern for the natural environment. Also the fact that my parents both were very concerned with issues having to do with development, having to do with where roads were placed and where houses were built and how they were built, and all kinds of awareness of air quality, water quality. We had a stream through our property in Northern California, and when the stream started drying up because of overpumping in the area, we started worrying about that and being concerned about that. And I remember that was always part of the discussions in our family. So that's where it starts.
How do you get involved in the energy issue?
Well, I think when we were living on a shoestring and raising two kids and being very aware of our bills, that was part of it. I mean, just the issue of hot water taking so much of our electric bill, making it, like 40% of our electric bill was going for hot water. So we took short showers, and then we decided in the 70s to convert to a solar hot water system in the house, and so that was one of the first big moves, and we really noticed that paid off. That paid for itself, in just a few years. That was the beginning.
I lived for a time at a cottage on a lake, and there was no hot water heater, but on a cool autumn day, the pipes ran from the wellhead to the house on the top of the ground. And at the end of a sunny day, one could have a hot bath or a hot shower. Mm-hmm. And that was my introduction to solar hot water.
Well, that was really kind of a surprise the way that whole thing happened, and we had already talked about the fact that we wanted to not only do this, but to share the idea of doing this, kind of helping other people think about it and help people think about how they might be able to do it also in whatever way they could. And so when we were called and asked by the new editor of Hawaii Home
and Remodeling. It's the magazine that's given out free at hardware stores.
Yeah. Anyway, he called and said, we want to do a green issue, and it's been recommended by your architect friend to use your house as an example. Would that be all right? And we said, because we've had other kinds of attention, so we thought we really would like to just be anonymous, so I said, if you could make us anonymous, that would be fine, and Sarah agreed, and that's how it started. And
we had no idea it was going to be an insert, and we certainly had no idea that it was going to be included in Honolulu Magazine in May and given away as a standalone. We also had no idea that it was getting corporate sponsorship. We thought it was just going to be part of the magazine.
Well, it's also been in Hawaii business, and it's been all over the place. I mean, because it keeps getting given away as a standalone piece.
There's a small photograph in this month's Honolulu magazine,
And then
in the architecture section.
And then one of the photographs that from the back, that's kind of twilight photograph of the back corner, is used in advertising. Is it advertising? That it was in the Sunday paper recently. Anyway, it keeps cropping up because the guy who did our solar,
It's in his ad.
I think it's curious that we have this huge amount of evidence of rapid global change, and in some cases, just recently, we've heard that it's not only happening, it's not only been proven to be happening, but it's also happening faster. That there's been a 35% increase in carbon dioxide that is way beyond the percentage that they predicted. I think they predicted a 15% increase or something like that. So in that context, I look around and I see, particularly since we're kind of high in the valley, we see so many roofs that don't even have solar hot water, and we're concerned about that. You know, we think that that's kind of a no-brainer, solar hot water. And flying in from Los Angeles last weekend, I was really upset when the plane actually came in across Barbers Point, and all of the housing, both military and non-military housing, I seem to not have solar of any kind. I know that the Army's doing better than recently at putting it in, but still, most of what I saw as we came in, hundreds and hundreds of houses, had nothing on the roof. And I was just thinking, wow, we've got to get, that has to be changed. People have to get aware of their own economics to the point where they realize that this is a very important investment that they can make, not only for themselves and their own household budgets, but also for the world, you know, and for the islands.
One of the larger photovoltaic installations on the island, I believe, was put in by the Navy.
Well, that's right, that's true, yeah.
And our military is not famous for being cost effective, so it must really be cost effective if they're doing it.
That's true, that's true.